NASCAR brought North Wilkesboro Speedway back from the dead and hosted the 2023 NASCAR All-Star Race at the track. The race was packed and the event was definitely a success. The track went through substantial upgrades and renovations, but the original track surface from 1996, which was the last Cup Series race held there, still remained on the track. After this race, I think there's no doubt that North Wilkesboro has a future on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule as a point race. But even if that does not happen in 2024, I'm sure we will see the All-Star Race there again. But in this video, we're going to revisit that final race in 1996, as it was definitely a historic and sad day for some NASCAR fans. NX Staley, who built the Speedway, passed away in 1995. As a result, the Speedway was sold to promoters Bruton Smith and Bob Bear. Shortly before the 1996 Tyson Holly Farms 400, it was announced that it would be the last race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. The two race dates would be moved to Bruton Smith's new Texas Motor Speedway for the spring race and Bob Bear's New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the fall race starting in the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup season, as part of a new schedule realignment. Oddly enough, in 2023, we've come full circle and Texas Motor Speedway lost the date to go back to North Wilkesboro. Ted Musgrave would be on pole for the final race at North Wilkesboro, with Jeff Gordon, who is looking to make it 3 wins in a row, on his outside.
We are set for the green flag here at North Wilkesboro for the 93rd time and final time for a NASCAR Winston Cup race. The green flag is waving and the Tyson Holly Farms 400 is underway. By just about a half a car length outside front row starter Jeff Gordon leads lap number 1. Bobby Hamilton now moves up to challenge Ted Musgrave for second.
From the outside, Jeff Gordon was able to take the early lead in the race, and pole sitter Ted Musgrave would start to fall backwards. He would actually not lead a lap the entire race, but even Jeff Gordon's lead would be short-lived as Bobby Hamilton would make a move on lap 3.
Position and also a battle for the lead, yes. Bobby Hamilton comes up inside of Jeff Gordon and takes the lead.
Boy, he got a great bite off the corner. That looks like that STP Pontiac is hooked up today.
Bobby Hamilton wasn't the only one on the move, as you know the Intimidator was starting to make his way to the front of the field as well. It's such an iconic shot seeing that black number 3 basically taking up the full screen of a driver's bumper cam. In this case, it was Rusty Wallace. There would be a quick debris caution on lap 22, which happened under a commercial break. The broadcast managed to miss the caution coming out, the 4 laps under yellow, as well as the restart, and when the broadcast came back, Dale Earnhardt was making a move on Jeff Gordon to move up to the 3rd spot. 4 laps later, Jeffrey Bodine would lose a tire in the middle of the field. Thankfully, there was only slight contact. No major accidents happened. He would make it to pit road, and the green flag would stay out on the racetrack. During a commercial break, the first major incident of the race would happen on lap 70. Ernie Irvan, who took the lead of the race at this point, was involved in an accident with second place Bobby Hamilton, as both of them were trying to pass Kyle Petty. On top of that, things would get even worse for Ernie Irvan, as he was held a lap by NASCAR officials for entering a closed pit, and Larry McReynolds was visibly upset, screaming at the NASCAR officials, pleading his case.
Well, we are under caution because of an incident here on the main straightaway involving Kyle Petty, and it ultimately involved Irvin and Hamilton. Let's take a look.
Well, this started back in turn 3, and Kyle Petty comes off the corner, nails the gas, gets sideways, goes down, gets in the 28 car and also the 43 car. We see Mark Martin way down on the inside. He avoids all the problems. But both the leaders are having a problem. Now this is going in turn 3, and you'll see the problem start here. There, we get a bump from the 8 car. He gets the car sideways. He might have had a flat tire, because here when he got on the gas, the car just suddenly snaps sideways, and he goes around, and that's when the leaders made contact with Kyle Petty.
With the top 2 drivers involved in this accident, this would hand the lead over to Mark Martin, as he would lead the field back to green for the restart.
For the green wave, here goes Wilkesboro. Let's check in with Bill Weber. 4 tires for Dale Earnhardt. Says his car is good. Was a little bit loose before they pitted. Mark Martin pitted 18.64 seconds, 4 tires, and leading the race. Ernie Irvan's car is not handling well. It's towed in a mile, they said. They're going to try and go to the next caution. Ernie is not up to speed, but he may not make it that far and may have to pit early.
This would kick off a very long green flag run of 182 laps, but that was nearly not the case, as shortly after the restart, Bobby Hillin Jr. and Robert Presley got together, and I'm convinced that if this happened in today's NASCAR, that would 100% be a yellow flag, but it was not, and both cars continued and the green flag stayed out. Both Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon were able to get by Mark Martin, and the two would exchange the lead for the majority of this long green flag run, switching back and forth for a total of 5 times, but it wasn't totally drama-free for Rusty Wallace, as when Jeff Gordon made the move, Rick Mast decided to just send it onto the inside. The two made contact. Fortunately, they got away with that without wrecking or any flat tires.
Well, there we see Gordon go by on the inside. Rusty lets him go, and then Rusty starts to pull back down, and Mast was going to run in there too while that lower lane was open. You can see the smoke fly there where their tires got together.
Made some pretty good contact with left rear, and Rusty's car's tore up pretty good. Once again, another angle. There we see how he goes down the corner, and boom! Pretty doggone significant contact.
Yes.
Yeah. A great job on both of them's part to not wreck there.
With this extremely long green flag run and what seemed like NASCAR putting that yellow flag away, we would even see a cycle of green flag pit stops as everyone would hit pit road for 4 tires and fuel. With the green flag still out and Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace duking it out for the last 120 laps, we would see a new challenger for the lead on lap 221 as Dale Earnhardt would take the lead of the race. And not too long after that, we would see the leaders hit pit road for a second round of green flag pit stops during this race. And once the leaders got back up to speed, it didn't take long for Jeff Gordon to make his move on Dale Earnhardt to retake the lead of the race. The third caution of the race would fly with 140 laps to go as oil was laid down on the racetrack, bringing an end to this extremely long green flag run. During this yellow, of course, all the leaders would hit pit road to get those fresh tires. Jeff Gordon would edge Dale Earnhardt off of pit road and would lead the field to green on the restart.
129 laps to go in this one. Here they come, and the green flag comes back out. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd, and Mark Martin.
As the race entered its final 100 laps, it seemed pretty apparent that this race was going to come down to Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, providing nothing catastrophic would happen to them, of course, as the two would exchange the lead 3 times before the final yellow flag of the day would come out when Robert Presley found trouble in turn 3.
It's Robert Presley in the wall, and the caution comes out at lap 312.
Bill Elliott trying to get a lap back, but he isn't going to be able to do it.
Unfortunately, there was no replay of this incident, but all the leaders would hit pit road for 4 tires, and Dale Earnhardt would edge Jeff Gordon to win the race off pit road.
You haven't missed a lap yet. They just went green. Here they come down to complete the first lap under green. Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett are right there together.
Gordon looking under Earnhardt as they come off of turn 2. He's got a nose up there.
And Jeff Gordon will go back into the lead, and here comes Dale Jarrett right behind him.
Well, the last time we see the 2 Dales together, they were bumping. Let's see if Jarrett can make the pass this time.
Here's Jerry Punch.
Jeff Gordon wanted to get the lead as soon as the green came back out because Jeff told Ray that when we get a few laps on our tires, I can't run the high groove off turn 4, and Earnhardt can. I'm concerned our tires may not last 80 laps. I know Earnhardt's will. We'll see how it plays out.
As stated by Jerry Punch there, all race Dale Earnhardt had a better long-run car than Jeff Gordon, but Jeff Gordon was able to take advantage of Dale Earnhardt on every restart and get in front of him. There was still quite a bit of laps left, so it seemed like this race would go into Dale Earnhardt's favor and he'd be able to run Jeff Gordon back down and pass him to take the lead, but things don't always work out that way, as Jeff Gordon was able to lead from this point on to take the final victory for the time being at North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Coming down, Jeff Gordon in corner number 4 now. Here he is at the line, and the white flag comes out for Jeff Gordon. Less than 5/8 of a mile to go. And the drop of the checkered flag here at North Wilkesboro brings down the final curtain of NASCAR Winston Cup racing. From the first race, October 16th, 1949, won by Bob Flock. The victory here to Jeff Gordon on September 29th, 1996. Jeff Gordon wins the final race at North Wilkesboro, the Tyson Holly Farms 400.
Jeff Gordon would close the first chapter of racing at North Wilkesboro Speedway in 1996, and all 37 cars who entered the race were running at the checkered flag. Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, and Terry Labonte would round out the top 5. 40,000 race fans were in attendance that day, and what would happen next to the Speedway would absolutely be heartbreaking, as it would just fall into a state of disarray. There'd be several attempts over the years to either sell the Speedway, as well as many trying to save the Speedway, and in 2010 the racetrack would see action once again, with Chase Elliott winning the first race back there since 1996, as many late model and lower divisions would race at the track in 2010 and 2011 before that would finally come to an end and the track would just fall into decay. But in 2019, Dale Earnhardt Jr. got a crew together to get the weeds off the track to try to save the Speedway in the virtual world and put it in iRacing, and this was the initial turning point for the Speedway, which led to it hosting the 2023 All-Star Race. So this leaves me with a question for you. Do you want to see North Wilkesboro back on the schedule at a permanent capacity? Do you want to see it host a points-paying race, or do you want it to just be the All-Star Race venue? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel for more NASCAR history videos like this. If you would like to interact with me, you can follow me on social media, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That's all for now. Take care, everyone. See you in the next one.